Hey, what's up guys? How we doing? Today I received an email from a player and he sent me in this video and he wanted to get my opinion on this drill, the two ball drill with two tees, and he wants to know if it helps create backspin and if he should do it. So today I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about this subject because I make a lot of videos on hitting, and a lot of players, when I talk about getting the bat on path with the ball early and staying flat through the ball and not swinging down on the ball, I get a lot of kids and a lot of parents and coaches that say that that's wrong and you want to swing down on the ball to create backspin. Well, I have 8 years so far professional experience playing. I'm still currently playing. I've watched some of the best hitters in the league go about their business. I've played with them, played against them, and I just want to talk about what I see with those players doing and then what I see younger kids, little league kids and coaches trying to do, and it's completely different. Okay, so let's get into it. First off, I don't know who this is in the video. I was just sent the video from a player. I'm assuming they found it online. So let's talk a little bit about why you don't want to swing down on the ball. There's a couple of reasons why you don't want to do it and why 100% of successful players at just about every level. I talk a lot about the major league level because that's where the best hitters in the world are at. But you'll find this in the minor leagues, you'll find this in college, in high school, in little league. It doesn't matter what level you're at. If a player's really successful, most times they're going to have the swing mechanics that I'll talk about and show you in a minute with the Albert Pujols and with guys like that. So let's go right into it. The first reason you don't want to swing down is because the ball is being thrown from an elevated mound overhand. The ball's traveling to the plate roughly 6 to 8 degrees downhill. So in order to give yourself the best chance to hit that ball, you want your bat path to match the path of the pitch. So in order to do that, your bat path actually moves uphill about 6 to 8 degrees. Now it's a small amount, but it is actually moving uphill. And if you watch major league players, really good hitters, successful hitters, they're matching the path of their bat with the path of the oncoming pitch. When you swing down, you don't see that. So the hitter in the video here, his bat isn't going to get lined up or in the path of an oncoming ball until basically right when he's about to hit the ball. So right here. And then it's out of the zone very quickly. If you swing down, you're not able to stay in the hitting zone very long. And one of the biggest things, if you watch all hitters, if they're a successful hitter, the more successful the hitter is, especially at the higher level, usually they have the bat in the zone longer than the not so successful hitters. So one of the keys to hitting is to be able to keep your bat in the hitting zone as long as you possibly can. And again, I'll show you that in a minute. We'll look at Albert Pujols. If you swing down on the ball, it makes it really, really tough because this angle is so steep to the baseball that you're not able to get on path with the ball. You physically can't do it, so you're in and out of the zone. Hitting is all about timing. Pitching is all about disrupting timing. So you're not always going to be perfect. Nobody is good enough to pick out that little tiny particular point right here to hit the ball squarely. You might get a changeup. You might get a two-seamer. You might get a fastball, but it might be faster or slower than you thought. Timing is really difficult, and that's why hitting is so tough. So if we can get our bat in line with the oncoming ball for a long period, well, if you're late and you're in the path of the ball, you could hit the ball out here, you could hit it here, you could hit it here, you could hit it here. Again, I'll show you that in a few minutes. If you swing so steep and so downhill, well, you've basically, your window to hit the ball is right here, and then right after it hits the ball, it's out of the zone. So you're giving yourself a very, very, very small area to impact the ball. One of the main reasons you don't want to swing down. The second reason I don't like players to swing down is because usually when I see players swing down, their swing is dominated by their upper body, and it's not a full body swing. So if you watch again, the best players, they're going to generate their power from the ground up. They allow their bottom half to work, and it allows the bat to be really the last thing that whips through the zone. That's how you really create bat speed. If you're only going to swing with your upper half, well, there's no reason to be a big, strong player. You're not utilizing your legs, your hips. some of the biggest muscles in your body to create the bat speed. You're just relying on your arms and your hands. And again, the best players don't do that. They use their entire bodies, and you'll see that in a minute. So if you watch this video, really what you see happening is the hands are pushing the bat. It's a push swing, it's more of a metal bat swing. So the hands are trying to create all the energy. The arms are trying to create all the energy. The bottom half really isn't turning and working very well. It's really an upper body swing. And in my experience watching players that don't use their bottom half, or players that swing down, they don't use their bottom half. They're relying just on their upper half to create the bat speed. So there's not a lot of there's really no whip to the swing. It's a pushing action. The hands get out in front of the body, and you're basically relying on your upper half. So you might as well just cut off your bottom half and not even use it, because you're not using it. You're just using your upper body. So that's another reason why I don't like swinging down on the baseball. Now the third thing, because you're swinging at such a steep angle on the ball, when I say steep, I mean basically you're swinging this way, straight down on the ball. What you're going to find is two things will happen. You're either going to be a player that smothers the ball straight into the ground. So a lot of guys that swing down, they hit a lot of top spin, just balls hit straight down into the ground, and they ground out a lot. And from this video, you can see the ball going straight down. Now it makes sense. If you're swinging straight down on a ball, well then you're going to smother the ball into the ground more often than not. And that's what happens here. Now, at the very young level, if you're 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or in Little League, well, yeah, this might not seem like a big deal. You smother the ball into the ground. Nobody can field at 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. You get a couple of base hits. Yay, we're happy. Mom and dad are happy. The kid's happy. Everything's great. But once you get a little bit older, you get to be 12, 13, 14. Players can field. You can't just smother a ball into the ground and get base hits. You have to hit the ball hard. You have to hit line drives. You have to get the ball in the air a little bit. You have to drive the ball. You can't just hit ground balls. And that's one of the reasons why I think players get confused. Because they're Little League coaches, they think that this is a successful way to be successful. Just hit the ball on the ground and run. Nobody can field. Yay, we'll win Little League. But the goal, like I always say, is not to be a good Little League player, not to be a good 7-year-old or 8-year-old or 9-year-old player. I'm trying to develop players to play at a higher level, to get you to play high school, to get you to play college, to hopefully get you to be drafted, to get you to play minor league baseball or major league baseball. And these type of mechanics aren't going to do it. So one thing is you smother it into the ground. The second thing that you'll find happen a lot if you swing down is you'll hit high pop-ups to the infield. The reason why that happens is you basically slice the ball, so you're swinging straight down. If you nick the bottom half of the ball, what happens is if you hit the top half of the ball, boom, the ball goes in the ground. If you miss just under the ball will be popped straight up because you're going to slice the ball. You're not going to square it up because you're swinging at such a steep angle that you'll hit a high fly ball. So if you're somebody that's finding yourself smothering a lot of balls straight into the ground or popping balls straight up in the air, it's probably because you're swinging straight down on the ball. Your swing is too steep. You're not getting behind the ball, staying flat through the ball. Okay, I'm sorry this is taking a little while to get through this. This topic could actually take days. You can talk about this forever, and I want to keep the video as short as I can. So let's move on real quickly. Let's touch on how backspin is really created. Now, like I said, a lot of young kids, a lot of coaches at younger levels always talk about swinging down on the ball to create backspin. Well, this is where spin is created on the ball. And I found this online, and it does a pretty good job of detailing exactly what's going to happen. So here's a baseball, and here are points that the bat's going to intersect the ball. So let's start right in the middle of the ball. If you hit the ball dead center, what you're going to get is knuckleball spin, and you've probably done that before. You've probably hit a nice, beautiful line drive, and you see the ball knuckling. Well, you hit the ball exactly in the center of the baseball. It's going to cause the ball to knuckle. If you hit above that middle line, you're going to get topspin. So if you hit on top of the ball or above the middle of the baseball, you're going to get topspin. If you hit just below the middle of the baseball, you're going to get backspin. And then if you hit way below the baseball, you're obviously going to get a pop-up. You're going to get backspin. Yes, the ball's going to spin backwards, but you're going to hit the ball straight up. If you hit the ball here with the topspin, you're going to get a ground ball. That's how it works. If you hit the middle of the baseball, you'll get a line drive knuckleball. You hit the top, you're going to get a ground ball with topspin. You hit just below, you'll get a backspun line drive. You hit probably just a little bit below that, you'll probably get a home run or maybe a double. If you hit too far below the ball, you're going to, yes, the ball's going to spin with backspin, but it's going to be a pop-up. The objective of the game is to hit the ball basically just below center. Now, we're not good enough to do that all the time, but what we want to do is square the ball up, hit the ball as squarely as we possibly can. What does that mean? You want to hit the middle of the baseball. You don't want to try to swing down to create any type of spin. You're not trying to create the spin, you're just trying to get the bat to square up with the baseball as often as we possibly can. And again, you do that by getting on path with the ball as early as you can and staying on path. You don't get that by swinging down to create backspin. It doesn't happen like that. Now let's look at Albert Pujols, and we could go through hundreds and hundreds of players, but obviously we don't have time to do that on YouTube. But I want to show you how he does things differently. What he does is he gets the bat on plane. He's working on a much flatter plane. So again, I said the ball's coming downhill 6 to 8 degrees. You want to match the plane. Look at how his bat is matching the plane of the ball. So he's getting in the hitting zone basically right here. And he's going to stay. So you can see how his area to impact the ball is huge. It's one of the biggest in the leagues. And that's why he's the best in the league, is because he's giving himself on every single pitch. He doesn't have to have perfect timing. He just has to get on path with the ball. And if he's right on time, then boom, he hits the ball here. If he's late on a ball, he'll hit it here. He can even hit it here to right field. If he's early, he can hit it here. So he's giving himself all of the space to contact the baseball, and that's going to help you hit for a much higher average, and it's going to help you hit for more power because you're going to consistently square up the baseball more, like we talked about. You're trying to hit the baseball as square as possible. You're not trying to swing down and manipulate the swing of the spin of the baseball. You just want to square the ball up, and if you miss just below center, well, then you might hit a double or a home run. So that's the first thing, is look at how flat that bat path is, how it's working slightly uphill, and how it's in the hitting zone for a really long time. The second thing is, look at how he's using his bottom half. So like I said, when you use your bottom half and you swing properly on path with the ball early, the bat's the last thing that whips through the zone. When you push the bat through and swing down, go back to the previous few videos, you'll see that the bat's the first thing to get to the ball. You want to allow your bottom half to create the energy. See how the bottom half's working. The bat is still not there. Now it's getting there. Now you've created a ton of bat speed, a ton of power. You've allowed your bottom half to work. And now the bat's released to the ball. Now a lot of people will say, well, you'll never get there. Players won't be quick enough. The ball will be by them. It's not true. When you push the bat, you can't create as much bat speed. So if you measured the bat speed, it would be much, much slower. So yes, maybe your hands are closer and you're just going to push, but first, the bat's not going to get on path, so you're not going to make contact very much. But second, you're not going to create any bat speed, so the bat's going to move slower. If you swing the proper way, the bat doesn't get at technically, it gets there at the same time, but it's building up more speed. It looks, to the naked eye, it looks like the bat isn't going to get there. It looks like the bat's taking a long time to get there. It's not. You're going to be able to build up much more bat speed that's going to get the bat there when you need to get it there. But when you make contact with the ball, because you've created so much more bat speed, the ball is going to be hit much harder. The ball is going to come off the bat much harder. It's going to go much further. It's going to make it more difficult to field the ball. It's really going to do everything that we're looking for. So That's the difference. Again, we could go through tons of hitters and look at it, and obviously there's a lot more to the swing. If you want to create a swing that works like this, there's a lot more to it than just saying don't swing down, swing on plane. Obviously we all know that. That's why we've made hundreds of videos to go over that. But this is just to hit on a few points of why you don't want to swing down to create backspin. You want to get on path and stay on path. You want to square the ball up, and if you hit just below the middle of the ball, you will create the backspin that you want. Don't try to manipulate it by swinging down. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll go into more detail, whatever you guys want. If you want me to look at your swing, tell you what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, what you really need to do to get yourself to the next level, go to our website, touchamaball.com, sign up for our online video analysis lessons. I've done hundreds of them with players all over the country, so let me know if you'd like me to do that. Alright guys, like the video, send it, share it to all your friends, let's spread this as much as we can. Comment in the section below, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff, and we will talk to you later.